Hey guys, welcome back to another video. This video is part one of a series that I will be doing over the next several weeks about how to easily manage your home. It will basically be a home management 101 course, and together we are going to go through and set up routines that will have your home kind of running itself by the time we are done. We all want our homes to run smoothly all the time and not always be feeling like we are behind on something. So, if that sounds like something you would be interested in, hit subscribe down below and ring the bell next to it if you want to be notified when each of the next parts come out. This video in particular, we are going to be setting up a block schedule. And I love block schedules because they provide some structure in your day without it being too rigid. You still get some flexibility because you aren't scheduling out every single minute of your day. And you'll see what I mean as we get into creating the block schedule. So to get started, I recommend you grab a notebook or a 3-ring binder. I would just say that you want it to be a notebook specifically dedicated for home management. You kind of want to be creating a home management binder that will hold all of the information you need to run your home. And if you're just using pieces of scratch paper here and there or a notebook that has a lot of other information in it, everything you do will likely get lost and it won't do any good in helping you run your home more smoothly. So before we get started, you can pause this video and grab a notebook or a 3-ring binder, or you can head over to my website if you want to use the same template that I am using, and I will leave a link in the description down below and you can grab that. Or I actually do have a free block schedule template as well available. It's not quite as pretty as this one, but it will work and it is free. So I will leave a link for that in the description down below as well. So you can pause it, get a pen and get whatever else you need, and then come back and let's get started creating our block schedule. So I am actually really excited to be redoing my block schedule because several things have changed since the last video I made on creating a block schedule, and I actually need to update ours as well. So this was a perfect chance for me to get that done and to show you guys exactly how to do it. If you do grab the workbook on my website, you will see it also comes with an example. And this is actually our old block schedule. So I will kind of be going off of that as I am creating my new one. Now, before we get started, if you are using a notebook, I recommend for the block schedule that you turn it horizontally so that you can fit all of the blocks into your day. And you kind of want it to look like this I have 6 vertical columns here because that is how many I use in my day. And that is a good maximum amount of blocks. I wouldn't have any more blocks than that, but you can definitely have less if you want. And then, so however many vertical blocks you want this way, and then going across, you also want these 2 smaller lines here, and then the rest you just keep large like that, and that will make more sense as we get going. That is how you want your page to look, and you can easily just draw that in with a ruler and a pencil. Then the next thing you want to do is you need to figure out how many blocks you are going to have in your day. So if you are drawing out your own template here, you can decide how many blocks you want to have in your day, and you can just have that many vertical lines here. So if you're only going to have 4 blocks in your day, you only need 4 vertical lines. But if you're going to have 5 or 6, then you put 5 or 6 in. If you aren't sure how many blocks you should have in your day, just keep watching this video because it will probably become apparent as I explain the steps and what you will be doing with each block. The next thing that I recommend you do when you are creating your block schedule is determine how long you want your blocks to be. Now, some people like to have blocks that are all exactly neatly the same size, like 4 3-hour blocks during the day. And that works really well for some people, but it doesn't work great for me because my day just doesn't quite work like that. It doesn't neatly fit into 4 little boxes. So my blocks are actually all different sizes, I think. I guess we'll find out here as I start writing them out, but they are not all the same size. And it really depends on you and the flow of your day and what you want your day to look like, which way you want to do it. Now, when you are dividing your day into blocks, I don't recommend that you do blocks shorter than 2 hours because that will just feel a little rushed. You won't have time to get everything done that you need to in the blocks. But you also don't want your blocks to be too long, and I would say no longer than 4 hours. And that's because you also want a little bit of urgency to make sure that you are actually getting the things done that you want to in each block. Once you decide on the length of your blocks, you can go ahead and write that onto your template, and you can write it on the second line here. And you just write it from the start time to the finish time of your block. So I'm going to go ahead and do that on my new block schedule right now. Now that I have my blocks of time written in, it looks like this. Now I did adjust some of the times compared with the sample that I made here, and that's just because life can change and you don't always do the exact same things that you did a year ago or the year before that. And I really think it's a good idea to reevaluate your block schedule every year or so, because as your kids get older, as your work may change, it just makes sense that your schedule will need to change a little bit here and there. But once you have the structure in place, it shouldn't need to change dramatically every single year. So one example of this for us was the nap/quiet time block. Before, I had it from 1 to 1:30, and in that block, that includes when I'm actually putting them down for a nap and hopefully when they would be waking up from their nap. And I've just noticed that usually they aren't going down for their nap at 1. They are still finishing up their lunch, and we typically don't head upstairs until around 1:30. So I just made that little adjustment, and then I bumped the waking up time to 4, which is when they typically are waking up. Another block that changed a little bit was my work time in the evening. I used to have it as 7:30 to 11 p.m. and now I have it as 8 to 10:30. And that's just because I am trying to prioritize sleep. So hopefully by shortening that block, I will actually get to sleep a little bit sooner and get better sleep than I had been getting. Now, once you have the blocks of time written in, write in on this first line the name of each block. And don't feel like you have to get too creative with the names here. My first block of the day is simply my morning block. The whole point of having the names is just to remind you the types of activities that you should be doing in each block and help you organize your day a little bit better. Now the last step is just to go through and divide your daily responsibilities and put them in the proper block. So for example, my second block of the day is my out and about block. And in this block go things like going to the zoo or going to the grocery store or running errands or going to the park, anything that would be getting us out of the house. And any errands that we would need to run would go into this block. Now, your out and about block may be in the afternoon or in the evening, but wherever it is in your day, just write down the list of things that you would need to do during this time. Now, obviously, I'm not going to go to the doctor and the dentist and the park and the museum and all of those things in the same day, but this is just to show you and help you figure out when you need to make an appointment or schedule a play date, when that would be best in your day. So for me, if I'm at the doctor's office and they say, when can we book your next appointment? I will say anytime between 10 and 1:30. And it's really nice to know that and to know my schedule for each day that far in advance, because I don't have to guess, and then I don't have to be stressed when the time comes and I'm trying to get out of the house at a time that's not really natural for my family. So now I want you to look at your day and all of the responsibilities that you have, and I want you to put them in the proper block. All right, let's go over this new block schedule together in case you still need some ideas for which items go in which blocks. But keep in mind that your block schedule may be entirely different than mine depending on your lifestyle and even just how your day goes each day or how old your kids are. You may have a completely different block schedule, and that is okay. I am just going to read your mind to give you an idea of what one could look like. And I also want you to keep in mind that I don't do every single thing in each block every day. especially in the getting out of the house block. Typically, we will only choose one thing in that block to do each day. So my first block of the day, my morning block, goes from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. Hopefully. Sometimes I do sleep a little longer than I would like to, but the goal is to be up at 6 for me to be going through my morning routine. So some of the things in my morning block are completing my morning checklist, and I will go over how to create your own morning checklist and your morning routine in a later video. The kids completing their morning checklists, which will be in that same video a little later on in this series, and my workout time, starting the laundry, and I will go over how to work your laundry routine into your daily block schedule in the next video. So be sure to see that one if you are having a hard time staying on top of your laundry. We make breakfast in our morning routine, obviously, and unloading the dishwasher. Often I will have the girls unload the dishwasher while I am making breakfast, or if they want to make breakfast one day, I will unload the dishwasher. But those two things, making breakfast and unloading the dishwasher, usually happen at the same time. And the nice thing about getting your dishwasher unloaded first thing is then your dishwasher is ready for those breakfast, lunch, and dinner dishes that you will make throughout the day. Then we will eat breakfast, and then typically my girls take a really long time to eat. So as they are finishing up their breakfast, I will typically read them a little worship story, a Bible story. And if you aren't religious at all, you can always just read them a story. It's a really nice time we've found to read to our kids as they are finishing up their food. And after breakfast, we clean the kitchen. The goal for us is to always have a clean kitchen after every meal. And if you struggle to keep your kitchen clean, be sure to watch the next video in this series because I'm going to show you the easiest way to keep your kitchen clean. And the last thing that we do in our morning block is our daily chore. And I will be going over how to create that cleaning routine later in this series. Then our next block of the day is our get out of the house block. And this goes from 10 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. And typically, like I said, we only choose one of these things to do each day. We don't do all of them, but things that would go in this block are playing in the backyard, doctor's appointments, dentist appointments, going on a hike. And sometimes when we go on a hike, we try to get there a little earlier or stay a little later. It's not typically right neatly in that block, but it is something that would happen in the morning for us. We will have any play dates during this block. I also go grocery shopping during this block. Typically, instrument practicing also happens during this block of the day, even though it isn't technically getting out of the house. It just tends to happen during this block of the day. We try to get it done in the morning block, but sometimes it kind of spills over and ends up in our second block of the day. And this second block of the day is also when I switch my laundry from the washer into the dryer. And our third block of the day is our nap time or quiet time block. My oldest daughter doesn't nap every single day anymore, but she still has a quiet time in her room so that I can get some things done. This block goes from 1:30 to 4 p.m., and this includes getting ready for the naps. Typically during this time, I work. I will film a video, I will work on a blog post, and I will do any sort of work that I need to on my website. But sometimes if I know I need to make a phone call and I don't want to be distracted during the phone call, I will do that during this time as well. And some days when I am just way too tired to do any work or do any phone calls, I will just have personal time and I will relax while the girls are relaxing as well. Then our fourth block of the day is our evening block, and this one is 4 to 8 p.m. So it's again one of our longer blocks, which means that there are more things that can happen during the block. Typically, the first thing that I do when the girls wake up is I will fold the laundry, and they are responsible for folding their own laundry. So we will all fold it together before we come downstairs and do anything else. Then we will prepare dinner, and sometimes they help me prepare dinner, but sometimes if it's a nice day, I kick them outside in the backyard and they play until dinner is ready. This is the block that we now have music lessons in, and also swimming lessons when those are available go in this block. We have not had swimming lessons in our area for over a year now. So I'm really hoping that those open up again soon because I love the girls to be in swimming lessons. We will eat dinner in this block. And on days when we do have swimming lessons and music lessons, I like to try to prep dinner before we leave because otherwise it ends up being a really late evening. And then the last things that we do in this block are cleaning up the kitchen, having some family worship. We will do a bath if the kids need it, and we will get them ready for bed. The goal is that they will be in bed and we will be walking out of their room by the end of this block. Now, it doesn't always happen this neatly and in this order. Sometimes I am cleaning the kitchen while Ross is getting the kids ready for bed, or vice versa. And it's really nice if you can tag team certain things like that, because sometimes you are just tired at the end of the day and you can't get through everything on your list. So if you can kind of divide and conquer the duties, everyone will be a lot happier. My fifth block of the day is then my work block. I will typically do some work between 8 and 10:30. Like I said, that's the goal. Sometimes I end up working a little later, but I am trying to prioritize sleep a little bit more. And then my last block of the day is sleeping. So typically that is from 10:30, again, hopefully, until about 6 a.m. And that is how you create a daily block schedule. If you want to make sure you are keeping up with the series and aren't missing any routines that will help your home run more smoothly, check out the description box down below. I will put a free checklist in there for you so you can be sure you are setting up all of your routines. And again, if you want to use the same templates that I will be using throughout this series, you can grab the Autopilot Workbook also on my website, and I will put a link to that in the description down below as well. Again, I am Kassy with makingtimeforgiggles.com, and I make videos all about simplifying mom life. So be sure to subscribe down below if you would like to see more videos like this one.